Good evening freelancers, welcome to another Anthem video. I'm PTT and today we're going to be running over a few recent questions and answers that the Anthem dev team have been providing on Twitter. Now links can be found in the video description to the devs direct Twitter feeds. I highly recommend if you use Twitter you drop them a follow, as right now they're on fire providing new information and answers to some deep burning questions the game's community have recently had. So what I've done is gone through all of their recent tweets and pulled out a few links I think you guys may want to know about. I've broken these down into certain categories, and the first category we will look at falls under the story/progression section. So up first we have some clarification on the game's story progress if you're playing as part of a group. So the question was put to Ben Irving: I know the story area is solo, but if a group of us all start at the same time, will the whole story progress for each of us, or will it only progress for the person who's invited the people in? Ben's answer was simply all of you. Now this is really nice to know because it means we can play as a team and progress together, and if we want at any point to go and run solo, we won't have to go backwards in terms of progression to redo missions we have already completed with our team. Now there is a bit more information on this topic because Michael Gamble also weighed in on the subject, and he stated, okay, so you have your story and when you run a mission it progresses you. If your group is at the same point, it will progress them too. If you're playing a mission you haven't unlocked in your story or played, you do it for XP and loot only, no story progress. Now this is a very useful add-on to the previous tweet because it highlights the fact that if you're at a different point in the story compared to your teammates, you will get loot and XP but will not progress your own personal story. So yeah, be careful here guys when joining in on friends. Next then, a very simple tweet with no more explanation needed. Ben Irving went on to confirm that the level cap at launch will be level 30. Moving on to some confirmation then about how to unlock javelins in game. It appears that we, the player, will be able to dictate the order in which we unlock our javelins, and this came again from Ben Irving as he confirmed you can choose whatever javelin you want at level 2. Now we know from previous tweets that at certain level milestones we will get special missions pop up that will reward us with the javelin suits that we don't have from the beginning, and this just confirms that at those milestones we can pick whatever javelin we want to unlock. Next then we look at a few questions that semi-fall under the progression category but also under the loot category. Yet another set of questions fired at Ben Irving: how many masterwork and legendary bits of gear can be equipped at the same time? Now the response to this is very cool and something that I feel will really make your javelins a powerhouse in later endgame content. So Ben went on to reply, you can equip every slot, that's 11, with a legendary if you work hard enough to get them. Now that is super extraordinary because up until now, gamers in this kind of genre do in fact try to limit how much high-end gear you can equip. So to see that Anthem are letting you go full circle with it is all something that I'm a little bit excited to test out. I do think it's going to lead to some very interesting endgame javelin builds. The next question was, if I get an epic piece of loot at low level, will it become obsolete as I level up? The response to this was something I wasn't quite expecting because Ben simply replied with, yes, you will get more though. So that pretty much confirms guys, any kind of infusion system at launch to increase the level of your gear drops will be out of the question, and when you level past the effective number on your gear, it will simply become something to break down for parts. Another very useful question and answer next, and this one came from Mike Gamble. The question asked was basically, will dropped loot that we don't pick up be lost forever, or will it go somewhere for collection later? The answer wasn't that detailed, but by saying it won't be lost does suggest that there will be some kind of in-game postmaster where you can collect your missing loot at a later date. The next topic I want to cover then is about builds in game. Now, most games of this nature do tend to cap certain stats so as not to make you too powerful, but Anthem seems as if it's letting you go full power and crazy is the aim. The question was asked, will there be soft caps for the buffs that inscriptions give if you go over a certain threshold, or will it be like you have 100% cooldown reduction so you can just spam that skill? Ben's response said it all: we have no caps at the moment. Now, this isn't to say that they won't be introduced later down the line. We've already heard from the devs on several occasions that there is a lot of things in Anthem that they're waiting to tweak until they get to see how we, the players, take to certain experiences and activities. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that will be implemented later down the line, because having 100% stats is something that I'm sure could throw up a few balancing issues. Next then I want to go on to a question about Anthem's post-launch content, some of the possibilities that the game has going forward. Again, a question answered by Ben Irving: is there a chance in the future to make the map of Anthem any bigger? The answer was very clearly that the future is endless and full of opportunities. Now obviously the game isn't even out yet, but it's nice to see that the dev team are being a little bit open with their answers and they're not ruling anything out for the game's future. Now a little segue from this, guys, is that while I was actually going through all of this, I was doing a bit more research in the background and I came across something that seemed to indicate Anthem is releasing with a 10-year plan similar to that of Destiny. That's pretty cool because it means the game will become a live game after launch and would indicate that there is a plan in the works for future content updates and possible sequels. So although we know things like raids won't be available at launch, it does shine some light on the fact that anything is possible later down the line. One thing I personally hope they add is some kind of live event that the community can take part in on a regular basis, but as we have no information on anything like that at the moment, I will leave that there as just an idea and hope in my head. Now that wraps up the video, guys. I do plan on doing the same next week, and over the coming days I will be compiling a list of questions and answers that the dev team have given, and at the end of the week I will do another recap on recent information. For now though, I would like to say if you do have any questions and don't use Twitter yourself, please leave them in the comment section down below and I will ask the questions for you and add them into next week's video. Now as always, let me take a quick moment to say thank you very much for watching the video. Have a great evening, and until the next one, guys, I'll catch you all soon.